From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fairbanks Evening News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Leading the news, a collision on University Avenue this afternoon backed up traffic and sent one person to the hospital.
The incident occurred around 2:30 p.m. today. One vehicle failed to stop at a red light and was hit by the other driver. One of the drivers was taken to the hospital by an ambulance. Officers say that the accident could have been caused by icy conditions, and it's important for drivers to take it slow.
Roads are slick out, so drivers need to drive slower, but the posted speed limit is a suggestion. You need to drive a little slower if you need to drive for safe road conditions. So cars are driving too fast if they're not able to stop for a red light.
The State Senate Resources Committee today heard testimony on a measure defining the purposes of the Alaska Gas Line Development Corporation. The corporation was created to develop a large diameter natural gas pipeline. House Bill 138 would establish the project fund and define the parts needed for the system, like a liquefaction plant. One of the big jobs will be able to get people to sign contracts for the project.
What we're faced with is, how do we put together project enabling contracts that are going to be sufficient to allow investors to put up the capital for this project, to allow investors to have the assurance that they're going to get the returns expected from an investment like this, to have the assurances so that lenders will have the assurances that they can loan money to this project with the confidence they're going to be repaid.
The United States Senate today voted to reverse cuts to the cost of living adjustments for military retirees. According to a press release, the Senate voted 95-3 to restore those benefits. Senator Mark Begich introduced a bill on Monday to repeal the COLA reduction that unanimously passed with a vote of 94-0. Begich said he was a strong supporter of the military and wanted to, quote, fix the problem and keep our promise, end quote. The COLA reduction will still apply to those who become members of the military after January 1st, 2014. Medically retired service members and their surviving members are exempt from the cut entirely.
We have 77,000 veterans in Alaska, and this is important to them to make sure they have their full COLA, full retirement. Well, we hope the House takes this up as quickly as possible so we can ensure that veterans, it's clear to them that we reinstate the COLA. Again, these veterans have already paid the price, and there's no question in my mind that we had to make sure this was done and done fast.
2 Fairbanks men have been arrested on felony drug charges. 21-year-old Ariston Thomas and 22-year-old Edward Simmons were arrested last Friday after authorities served a search warrant at their apartment. Now, Fairbanks police say officers seized a variety of drugs, including crack cocaine, heroin, marijuana, prescription pills, and ecstasy. The amount of drugs seized were reported to be substantial. The case remains under investigation.
3 Fairbanks women are charged with multiple felony counts in a theft and fraud case dating back to 2006. Antoinette Pitka, Patricia Bessett, and Cynthia Wheel are all charged in related cases. Pitka and Wheel are charged with 4 felony counts, while Bessett is charged with 5 counts. According to court documents, the alleged thefts began in 2006 and lasted until May of 2012. In several of the charges, the victim is listed as a government or financial institution. The value of the thefts and charges range from $500 to $25,000. Trial in the case is scheduled to begin at the end of April.
Each year, visitors bring their enthusiasm for the state and extra dollars to the community. And today, business owners learn new strategies to connect with those valued customers. A handful of seminars were hosted at the annual Interior Tourism Conference hosted by the Fairbanks Convention and Visitors Bureau. The all-day event at the Westmark covered a variety of topics, including social media, customer service, and National Park Service updates. Nearly 70 businesses and leaders registered for the keynote address by Steve Gutzler. He is a Seattle-based business advisor.
You know, they say that we like to do business with people we know, like, and trust. So I always tell people, create a likability factor in who you are, and understand that people really do purchase and will choose your business based upon an emotional connection. So don't forget that portion.
All right, when we come back, a rally was held today to support people with disabilities.
And StoryCorps is coming to Fairbanks to allow military members to share their stories. Those stories are next. Stay with us. Stories.
And welcome back. The Sadler's Mall was the location today for the gathering of the key coalition members to have their rally in support of people with disabilities. The position of the coalition is threefold in that they are campaigning for a complex behavior collaborative to provide services to those who experience dangerous behaviors. The next issue is to eradicate the state wait list, which currently hosts 652 families and individuals waiting for services. And the final goal is to create an Alaskan task force of direct support individuals.
And we've been down the last several years rallying to get this funded in the budget because it is so important. There are so many people with disabilities that display challenging or aggressive behaviors, and our resources here to assist them, we just haven't had it. So we are asking for additional funding in the budget so we can bring in specialists to assist individuals and keep them here in our state.
Valentine's Day is upon us, leaving many to plan a romantic evening with their loved one. For more adventurous couples, the Museum of the North is hosting a Valentine's Night Out. Various curators and collection managers will show off different specimens and discuss romance in the animal and plant kingdom. The event will also feature dancing, wine, and refreshments. Organizers say it should be pretty wacky, and all the proceeds go to support the museum's programs.
We'll have a narwhal tusk on display. It's an adult male tusk, and narwhals use their tusks in a similar fashion as moose use antlers. Perhaps the males use to joust for the rights to mate. We aren't sure exactly how narwhals use their tusk.
Valentine's Night Out is Friday at 7 p.m. and is for adults 21 and older. Call the Museum of the North at 474-7505 for more information or to purchase tickets.
Veterans, current military personnel, and their families will have a chance to have their stories recorded and placed in the Library of Congress starting Sunday. StoryCorps Military Voices Initiative will be holding sessions on post. We have more now in this report.
He was like a little angel, but I still had to shoot him. And it didn't bother me the first night because I went to sleep and I was so tired. But the second night, I woke up crying.
That was one of the thousands of stories that StoryCorps has been able to capture as part of their military initiative throughout the years.
It's a conversation between two people. You can choose whether you walk away with a CD or it gets archived at the Library of Congress, or you can just walk right out of the room without taking anything with you. So it's wide open in terms of what it is possible to talk about.
I remember trying to breathe and I just felt like real hot, like I was on fire. They were dragging me on the sand and there was rocks there.
I remember when I first saw you, the doctors wanted me to identify you, like you had died or something. You were covered in bandages, and I can only see your eyes and your lips.
As part of the military initiative program, there is something special about the StoryCorps visiting Fort Wainwright.
They've never recorded on an active base, and they've never recorded in a school. So this is a really big deal for their organization. They're really excited to be here.
Those involved in StoryCorps say any stories can be discussed and told during the interview process.
Our voices are unique, and our stories really reflect this place. The military is such a strong part of our community, and that ever-evolving story of people coming in and out of Fairbanks to serve here really enriches this community.
If you want to participate in StoryCorps, you can visit our website, webcenter11.com, to get the link to sign up. StoryCorps will be at Arctic Light Elementary School from February 16th through the 18th. Stephanie Woodard, News Center 11.
The Military Report is brought to you by Stanley Nissan. Innovation for all.
And as Joe has come to notice, this town is a hockey town. Am I right?
Oh, yeah, it really is. It really is. And in sports tonight, we have a little preview of the state hockey tournament, and that starts tomorrow. 5 interior teams are in the tournament.
Hockey.
Good, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Also, some high school hoops action from last night and more coming up next. Hello, Interior Alaska. Time for some Wednesday sports action. The UAF swim team is entering the postseason this week. In fact, today is the first day of the Pacific Collegiate Swim and Dive Conference Championships in La Mirada, California. The prelims are today. UAF went 4-2 in the PCSE with 3 wins over Biola. The Nanooks finished the year ranked 16th in the College Swimming Coaches Association poll. UAF's best finish in the PCSE Championships was 4th in 2011 and 2012. The favorite is number 5, UC San Diego. They've won 5 straight conference titles and 7 of the last 8. This is the last meet for the Nooks to improve NCAA qualifying times. UAF comes in with 15 top 25 national times and 31 top 10 times in the conference. After winning the first ever Patriot Rifle Conference Championship last weekend, the Alaska Nanooks moved up from number 3 to number 2 in the nation. In this week's Collegiate Rifle Coaches Association poll, UAF is second in the country thanks to their 47.02 score at Ohio State, tying another program record. That score boosted their 3-score average at 3 different venues over Kentucky. West Virginia is still number 1, and Kentucky is now 3rd. The Alaska Rifle team will be back in the range on February 22nd and 23rd, hosting number 17 Nevada and number 20 UTEP in the NCAA qualifier. Now to individual accolades, UAF's Logan Hahnemann is this week's Air Alaska Nanook of the Week. The junior won his first individual Central Collegiate Ski Association titles last weekend. Hahnemann cruised in the 10K Classic, winning by 29 seconds. He even beat out former NCAA champion and Northern Michigan standout Eric Soderman, who was in the field as an open skier. Hahnemann won the 20K free skate mass start on Sunday in 40 minutes and 23.4 seconds as well. Those 2 wins earned the UAF men's team second place at the CCSA Championships. Hahnemann and the ski teams are now in Halton, Michigan this weekend for the NCAA Central Region Championships. Now for high school sports. Tomorrow is the start of the ASAA First National Cup 4A hockey tournament in the Curtis Menard Memorial Sports Complex in Wasilla. The Greatland First National Cup starts Friday. 5 interior teams have a chance at the Cup: West Valley, Lathrop, Hutchinson, Monroe, and Delta Junction. Lathrop will face CIC runner-up South at noon tomorrow. West Valley gets West, a team they tied 4-4 back in December, at 5 o'clock on Thursday. In the Greatland, Monroe has a chance to defend their title. The Rams, the 4 seed, plays number 1 Houston on Friday at 3. Number 2 Hutchinson will play number 3 Delta Junction at 12:30 on Friday. We caught up with Wayne Sawchuk of West Valley and Lathrop's Kurt Franklin after the MAC championship about their state tournament matchups.
We get South in the first game. We played South twice, and we played pretty well against them for 4.5 out of the 6 periods. The problem being is when we didn't play well, we gave up quite a few goals. We've had them first at state tournament, I think, last 4 years or 5 years, and we've been successful 2 or 3 times against them. So, we get down there, we got a chance, but the kids are going to have to buy in and play within our system.
I just want us to take care of the puck defensively, make sure we get our must out of the zones, and then get pucks in deep and get to the net. We need to get bodies in net in order to score. West Anchorage has a good goalie, big goalie, so we're going to have to get pucks on him and get a lot of traffic there.
There was some high school hoops action last night up the Rich at North Pole High School. Ladies first, the Allison Ravens came to visit in this non-conference duel, and Katie Browder, the lawn 2, she came to play. She had 9 points for the Ravens in this one, but Jasmine McCormick, she answered with a nice inbounds play. She had 13 points for the Patriots. The North Pole's Alex Parker, she had 14 points, hit a deep 2 in the second half of the Patriots. Without 4 starters, stayed within 8 or 9 points going to the fourth. But Allison kept going inside, getting points in the paint. Skylar Miners, the lefty, had 9 points and 7 assists. She fed Larissa Franklin, who had a game-high 20 points and 16 rebounds, 11 on the offensive glass as the Ravens pull away in the fourth and win 57-44 over North Pole.
We executed inside by just looking and turning to the basket and to shoot and stuff like that. Our guards definitely gave us a lot of the opportunities to shoot. We just really wanted to win. We just like winning, and we don't get that opportunity often, and we really knew we could beat this team.
In the boys' game, the Patriots were playing after a week off, but you couldn't tell at first as Garrett Summer gets the steal and the bucket to start the game. But Allison, they were in this one. It was just 7-5 after 1, and the Ravens made it a 19-12 game in the second quarter. The bank opened right there, but the Patriots closed out the first half with some momentum and took a 23-12 lead at the break. Their play carried over in the second half. Lance Wright with the tip-in. He led the Patriots with 12 points and 17 boards. Tony Griffith had 12 to lead the Ravens in his return from an ankle injury. Khalil Stewart would answer right here in transition as North Pole outscores the Ravens 44-25 in the second half and win this one 67-37 over Allison. And that'll do it for sports tonight. Thanks for rocking with me for a little while. Mike Schultz is next with your full weather forecast, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back into the Fairbanks Evening News. Time to take a look at the weather. Mike Schultz with you once again. We've had reports of a few accidents this afternoon, so be careful out there. The roads are slick. We had a little bit of light snow this morning, which helped to make things a little slicker than they normally would be. So just give yourself plenty of time to get to your destination. Another nice photograph. This one sent in by Debbie Dean. A beautiful sunset. We call it an incredible sunset. Again, all the colors you would imagine involved with the sunsets here in the Fairbanks area. And as always, if you have a photograph you want to share, by all means, send it to photos@ktvf11.com. Well, what's going on at the airport right now? It's 20 degrees above zero after a high of 15. Actually, the high was 15 below. That's actually 20 below. I can't quite see the minus mark. 20 below, I should say. After a high of 15 below. The record was set in 1932 when it got down to 53 below. In contrast, the record high 44 in 1942. And your sunrise and sunset 8 hours and 20 minutes of daylight. What's going on as far as our air quality? Well, again, we have problems with the Fairbanks area, unhealthy for sensitive groups and unhealthy in the North Pole area. So again, the air just not moving around much at all. Here's our map today showing again over southeast Alaska. The snow is continuing to fall around the Juneau area. They're expecting heavier snow tonight, very heavy snow. We'll tell you about that in a little bit later on. Snowing around the Anchorage Bowl also, otherwise just cloudy to partly cloudy skies everywhere you look. Fort Yukon at 27 below zero. On our satellite radar, one area of low pressure kind of working its way around the Prince William Sound area, but not much coming our direction. Again, more cold air moving in from the north. That's going to reinforce the cold air we have right now and continuing to give us any light snow that we're having. What's going on in the lower 48? Well, a lot of weather to talk about. First, of the west coast, a new storm system moving there. But down over the south and the east, it is a mess down there. Lots of freezing rain, snow, ice. It's just a real mess, and they're expecting it to continue. In fact, and you can see on the map today, looking at that, again, sunshine over to the west, but then you get to the east, you get back into that real ugly scene there. And the overall picture is calling for a storm to develop. They call it a nor'easter over the northeast, bringing lots of snow to all of the northeast tomorrow. And some of that could be close to a foot of snow in the New York area. Well, as far as the jet stream is concerned for later on this week, again, we're looking at a continued flow of cold air coming in from Canada across the Great Lakes. Okay, back to Alaska for tomorrow. Here's what it looks like. Flurries and colder for Barrow, windy for Nome, and flurries in the Fort Yukon area. Here in the interior, we'll have light snow or flurries for Fairbanks, Healy, and Delta Junction. While over southeast Alaska, 9 to 13 inches of snow by evening for Juneau. Not as much in Ketchikan, a lot of snow there. Over to the southwest, blowing snow at Cold Bay, snow showers in Bethel, and a few clouds at Kodiak Island. While over the south central sections, snow showers in Anchorage and Valdez, and isolated showers in the Homer area. Okay, time once again for our kids' weather. Tonight, we're talking with a young lady with a question for me.
Hi, my name is Cheyenne, and I'm in Mrs. Costa's 4th grade class, North Pole Elementary, and this is my question for the weatherman. How do you know when it's going to rain or snow?
Well, I use many resources. I use the satellite pictures, we use weather observations, and of course computers. But the best one is the lucky quarter. Heads it snows and tails it doesn't. Look, it's heads. It's going to snow. That's the best way to do it. Tomorrow night, we'll have the teacher with an interesting weather fact for us. Okay, here's your forecast for the remainder of the night as we look quickly and see that tomorrow the teacher will be with us. Our 27 below is the overnight low expected with scattered snow showers and cold. Tomorrow's forecast, 9 below, not as cold as with a chance of snow. And the chance of snow is going to continue for the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday time period. And then mainly just partly cloudy to cloudy skies for Monday and Tuesday. Temperatures, once again, will be right around the 10 below mark, a little bit warmer possibly on Saturday. And overnight lows will also be not too bad, 20 below, which is a lot better than 30 below. That's the best way to say it.
That explains it all, Mike.
Yeah. I like how you
That
went
explains it
two-face
all
on
with
us
the-
with the snow. It's like,
Hey,
I like the coin toss.
it works every time.
Or half the time. Depends
Yeah,
on the
50%
time.
of the time.
That's right.
That's pretty good odds. I'd take them, though. Thanks, Mike.
The kids like that.
That will wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We are glad you could join us.
Tonight on NBC Nightly News, team coverage of the ice emergency across the South that Mike was just talking about. Stay tuned. It's coming up next with Brian Williams.
but you can join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com.
That will do it from all of us here at the News Center. Have a good night. Enjoy your Olympic coverage. We'll see you back here later on.